Thanks to the recent investigative reporting exposing the corruption in Acorn offices, the government is finally cracking down on that community organization. But I want to make a different observation about Acorn, and more broadly about the voting process in our democracy. During the 2008 election, when those stories started emanating about the voter registration fraud associated with the Acorn drives, it wasn't just the fraud that bothered me. There was a larger and more troubling issue that I couldn't put my finger on at first. And then it finally dawned on me. Why in the heck are we outsourcing our responsibility to register to vote? Think about it. Thousands of American colonists gave their lives to secure that right to vote. And I can't imagine why anyone would want to turn over to a total stranger the commensurate responsibility to register to cast that vote. It belittles the mortal sacrifice that our ancestors made. I don't think it's too much to ask citizens to register themselves to vote through the appropriate government office. Personally, I would not want to entrust such a sacred right and weighty responsibility to anyone other than myself. So in the same spirit of the Voting Rights Act of 1964, let's pass a companion law called the Voting Responsibility Act of 2010, which would forbid any person or organization from turning in a voter registration for anyone other than him or herself, and also prohibit any state registrar from accepting such a registration. Now, before Acorn supporters claim that these voter registration drives are necessary for the poor because they lack the same access to transportation and communication services, I would point out that in my state of Arizona, a citizen can register in person at any county seat or DMV. But that's only the half of it. A citizen can also register by mail or by internet, as long as he or she provides proper identification. So try to find a hardship somewhere in that process. Personally, just like the Afghan women liberated in 2002, I would eagerly endure a 50-mile donkey ride in order to register to vote. This is so little to ask compared to the sacrifice that the American colonists made just to give us that right to vote in the first place. So what would be the result of this Voting Responsibility Act? First, it would imbue a sense of responsibility within any citizen wanting to cast a vote. Secondly, it would make our election process cleaner and fairer for all, eliminating the disenfranchisement and dilution of our vote inherent in these corrupt voter registration drives. And of course, this law would apply to all, and as such, prohibit voter registration drives by any other political party or organization of any ideology. The only legitimate voter registration drive that could be conducted would be by the appropriate government agency itself. So, back to Acorn. First, the U.S. Census Bureau severs all ties to Acorn relative to the upcoming 2010 census. Secondly, Congress, with widespread Democrat legislative support, votes to cut off all government funding for Acorn. And third, with the future passage of the Voter Responsibility Act of 2010, we would end Acorn's influence in the election process. 3 strikes and you're out. Acorn squashed. Thank you.